Welcome to the Uncomfortable Three-Way Podcast. I'm Dick.
I'm Alvin.
And I'm Matt. So the question I have that I've cooked up for you guys is, what do you think about the conspiracies surrounding the Catholic Church? Have you guys heard anything about them? Do you know the plethora of ridiculousness that they've supposedly done throughout history?
I know about the plethora of boys that they've done, little boys. But I don't know much else.
Yeah, I don't know
really
much about that.
So you guys haven't heard any? Okay, so let's be real. Like, they changed our entire calendar. Like, our calendars was supposed to have 13 months of 28 days plus 1 day a year, which would have been the 1st of April, which would have been like the rebirth day of Christ.
Well, I thought we were supposedly going by the Mayan calendars. Is that an option?
No, we're not going by the Mayan calendars. We're going by a Roman calendar.
Yeah, we're going by. So, like
our today's calendar is the Roman calendar.
Yeah.
But people go through the Mayan calendar as well, not living day by day life, but they do. Is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, all the stuff I've been looking at and, like, the research I've seen is essentially, like, Sep means 7th.
Mm-hmm.
What month is September?
And this is Roman that we're talking.
Yeah, but what number of the month is September?
Fuck, Matt, you got me on the
ninth
spot.
month
Thank
of the
you.
year, rather than the 7th. Okay,
now.
But then you have Ak, which would mean October, the 8th month, but it's the 10th month.
Right.
So, like, all of our months are shifted off. And like that, even like your astrological signs, there's 13 of them, not 12. So you could tell our entire calendar's been changed. They wouldn't even as far to everybody's like, oh my goodness, Sunday's the 7th day of the week. It's the Sabbath. It's the day of rest, when it's actually Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. So I've seen things like that where our calendars change throughout time, and so people make like end of the world predictions and things like that. And I tend to wonder on what time chart, like what time scale.
There's 365 days in the year no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, but they used to break it down differently, and by breaking it down the way they do, you lose track of days and whatnot. Like, perfect example, April Fool's, the biggest joke of the year. Everybody's like, ha ha ha, April Fool's. How'd that start? From what I've been able to find is April Fool's was started because April, the month of Abib, would have been the first month of the year, and the first of that would be the beginning of the new year. Spring. But instead we're using January, which
I was about to ask you, why is there not April? Why is it not the first of the?
Because they changed the calendar. I mean, let's be real. April. Okay.
Are you sure it's just not from all the leap days, things like that eventually changes the calendar?
Astrological signs. Aries is the first zodiac symbol. April, 1st of the year, the beginning. Yet we're the 4th month of the year now.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. You know how we have the leap days, the extra days, and the non-extra. Does that equal out, or will that eventually shift everything?
By their calendar, it has an extra day per year. But like I said, it's supposed to be 364 days in a year, and then the first of the year would be like the month of rest, or the day of rest for everybody. Like, that's the extra day. So essentially, they messed the entire calendar up by making it 365 days.
Well, it's the same thing with like the stars, and people talk about the zodiac signs and stuff, but things like over time, like the stars, we're not looking at the stars in the same place that they were like thousands of years ago or something to that effect.
We are looking at them thousands of years ago. We're not looking at them what they look like today.
Well, no, see, and the other thing is, if you look at it, like, let's be real, like that. Have you guys seen their definition of how we travel through space? Because supposedly, like, our sun is whipping through the universe at millions of miles per hour, and we're whipping behind it, and the moon supposedly rotating around us. But like, when you factor in the equations and stuff, like, the moon has to speed up and slow down to actually travel around us. How the fuck does the moon speed up and slow down? That's wild.
Because it's not real, bro.
It's not real. This is all the Matrix. Is that what you're saying?
Let me ask you a question, bro. I'm sorry, I just watched the new Jordan Peele movie.
Don't even know who that is.
I have no idea.
You ever seen Key and Peele?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in the other one of the guys. He makes like horror movies.
So
he made
his
Get
own
Out.
movie now?
Yeah.
He made Get Out, and he made Us.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he makes all those like
I know
psychological
he
horror
stars
movies.
and something like Harold and Kumar shit or stuff like that, but I didn't know he had his own movie.
I see. I didn't even. I haven't even
Okay,
seen
go
that.
wherever you were at. Go, Dick.
No, but in the movie though, so it's like UFOs or whatever. People are seeing UFOs, and you traditionally think like a UFO is like it's gonna land. It's a ship, comes down, aliens come off of it, whatever entity is boarded that ship gets off, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people think in the movie, and it turns out the UFOs are actually like living creatures.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry, spoiler
Yes,
alert. I'm gonna
absolutely.
put in a clip before this to let everybody. Who am I kidding? We're lazy. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, well, we can do that. We can do that. We can manage.
But yeah, it comes down and like the UFO comes down and it like when it sucks people up, UFOs like suck people up or whatever. Well, it's like it's eating it and it like digests it and things like that. And the UFO is like a living being. And I thought that was kind of crazy. Like,
I mean,
you don't really think about things like that. Like,
I mean, you don't really think about it like that, but let's be real. If UFOs, which the government have said this shit that they're real and they've sent all this stuff out, so if they're real and the people who claim they've been abducted have been abducted, then the actualness of it eating you is not there. Like, there might be some spaceships out there that be eating people.
I'm about to blow your fucking mind, right?
Go for it, bro.
I saw a TikTok.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
wow.
Very credible TikTok.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And it
credible.
said, there's no space, bro. We're underwater. You ever seen like a ship breaking the firmament, bro, in the sky? It looks like water, bro. We're underwater. So like the spaceships are like manta rays coming out like they're like sucking us up. We're like at the bottom of the ocean, bro. We're not trying to get up into space. We're trying to get out of the ocean.
Okay,
We're
so-
just we're the fucking crawfish. We're the bottom dwellers, and we're just trying to swim out, bro.
Okay, so have you seen the there's another conspiracy where they're like, oh yeah, no, if you go down to the bottom of the ocean, and some dude literally went down, like they found it at the
there's
bottom.
still ocean floor that's never been discovered.
Well,
Yeah.
they went down and hit.
We've
like,
touched the bottom.
Well, they went down to a place, I like to say it's in the Gulf of Mexico, and hit the bottom, and it was like a pool of water that like they couldn't go through, that it was so salty that they couldn't dive any deeper through it. And they have an entire documentary about it. The guy who did the
What?
documentary's dead. Wonder if that has to do with
it's
the
not
government.
space. It's just layers
Epstein.
of water, bro.
Well, see, we're not in water because we can't breathe water.
This is just a different type of water. This is thinner, breathable
So
water.
this
Well, I
is
mean,
like the
let's be
same-
real. We live in a tropical environment. We're the
Right,
closest
right.
to
With-
having gills you can
Without
have.
this like atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
We can't survive. Same way if fish aren't in water, they can't survive. So it's kind of like air's our water, bro. So it's like
Air's
layers of
our
water.
water.
So there's another
Wow.
creature living below the ocean that's like an even thicker water.
So we're in the thin water.
Yeah.
what fucking TikTok do you be getting, bro?
Way
Yeah,
out there on
I can't
TikTok.
share my sources, bro. They're very credible in there.
I don't know. I personally, like I said, the Catholic Church, they've been covering shit up for eons.
Yeah.
And I really would love to know what they're really hiding.
I feel like everything I see is a fucking cover up. Like I don't believe anything
I've heard,
on the news.
do they really
any-
have like?
I'm
in the
just going to go on the
Vatican-
limb here, and there's been a lot of stuff coming out. Like, I am not a flat earther at all. I've always believed the earth was round like every other celestial body you could see. But let's be real. They be coming out with some shit. I watched one where they launched a ship up, and it was actually a camera on the side of a rocket ship, and they went up to like, I think it was 80 or 120,000 kilometers above the earth.
What?
And it did not look round. It looked flat as far as the eye could see. It didn't round off. And this was off the side of a spaceship. Like, somebody didn't make that shit up. Like, that's literally a spaceship shooting into the sky. Why the fuck does
See,
it look flat?
Now the Earth being flat.
I mean,
That's-
I'm just saying that ice wall is starting to seem really realistic.
That's a stretch, but the ice wall though. Why have you seen videos of people like trying to sail into Antarctica? Why they stop you? Why
Well,
why do huge Navy ships
well,
pull
no,
up on
there's
you?
an entire fucking thing.
Civilization.
Well, no, that there's an ice wall around us, and I think it's like there's 27 or 28 continents, and essentially we have our 7 here. Or
And the
6
rest
here.
are past the ice wall.
Yeah, they're
bro.
past the ice wall, and like each ice wall, like we're in like I don't want to call them like terradomes or biodomes, but essentially that's what we'd be considered. Like we'd be in a dome of this stuff.
Where do you think all the 1%? People say, "Oh, the 1%. Who's this 1%? Where do they live?"
I mean,
Where if you had the more money than anybody on the world, you start your own rich people,
Yeah, but-
civilization, crazy underground deep shit in Antarctica. You don't let any of those filthy fucking poor people over there.
I mean,
you keep them
let's
out.
be real. Like the really rich people are like Bill Gates. Bill Gates is up there. Elon Musk.
That's
And
the
they're
really
what,
rich
habitats
people
in
that they
California?
want you to see, bro. What about the Rothschilds, man?
I mean, the Rothschilds. You can see pictures of them all the time.
Nah,
They're actually out there.
those are also the ones
Those-
they just want to
those
want
are
you
the,
to
those
see.
are the poor Rothschilds. Oh yeah, you guys are the bottom 1%. You can't come with us.
They were.
I mean, all I'm saying is like it makes sense that there's something else out there. Like I feel like, okay, so the same way you feel about religion, how like people want to have faith in something, I feel like all of us really want to believe there's something more.
You think that they can stage a whole terrorist attack? They could stage 9/11 in front of everybody's eyes. It was fake.
Oh shit! We just got canceled, guys. Cancel culture just got us.
My personal opinion, fake. But you think they can hide? They can hide that from people, but they can't hide a fucking ice wall that nobody's even able to get close to. People believe that 9/11 was real. You think?
So I mean,
that hard to hide a fucking
for
Antarctica?
it to be an ice wall, then they would be stopping people going to other places other than Antarctica.
No, I see. Look, so it's like the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the bottom you have like Antarctica, and then there's like a giant ice wall like further down, like encompassing, like it's like basically like a dome at the bottom of the earth,
So
and the
how does
ice
that-
wall surrounds it.
Yeah, but let's be real. If all of our continents that we know about, the 6 of them, the main ones that are livable, okay, they're not part of the ice wall, and the ice wall is Antarctica, and it stretches around the planet. Is what you're saying. So that means if I were to leave here and head north and just keep going north, go up into fucking Alaska, go all the way up to the highest part of Alaska I can get to, the ice wall should be there. It should be in more than just the southern hemisphere of the planet.
See,
That's what
they're
I'm saying.
exploring cave. All right, so there's people in Antarctica, right? There's people there's people there, and there's scientists, and they're doing research, and they cover about.
We did find out that we can travel there as well.
But those places, that's the like the 0.0000001% of fucking Antarctica that's covered. Like that's it. They're only right there.
It's larger than that.
They're exploring like other parts of Antarctica. They just found caves. They've been going through caves, and it gets like warmer as you go down. It's like livable.
Well, yeah,
and
geothermal energy and whatnot.
people living in the caves in Antarctica.
So what you're saying is like you believe that these caves they're finding, because like I've seen things about them, and they found caves where it's like 70 degrees inside all year round.
Yeah.
So like people could technically survive in these caves.
You could have a whole civilization like underground. Well, but where would you get your source of food? Like what?
Well, I mean, it would all be shipped in, but at the same point, it's like have you seen the sinkholes in China that they found?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're talking that they found these sinkholes, and there's more of them around the planet that 400 or 500 feet deep, like, and there could be species in these sinkholes that we've never seen.
Yeah.
So if it's possible that like right under our noses out in the open there's these sinkholes with things living in them that we haven't seen, it's possible that either under the ocean or under Antarctica there could be like places that we haven't seen or animals.
What if there's a whole other like civilization that's like under like 2 cores of the earth from us, and we can't get to them and find them, and the way that like they're genetically made up, like they're trying to get out and they can't get to us, and we're both just like working towards each other at the same fucking time.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, TikTok's gone wild in the past 2 weeks, especially for me. There's things talking about how like they're bussing people down into caves around the country to like feed fucking aliens and lizard people and shit, and like that stuff's a little bit offbeat, but like knowing what we know about our planet and how much we've actually explored, there could technically be an entire subterranean human or humanoid-like thing living here with us.
It's like we're only as like intelligent as as a human being can be. But if there was another species that was like hyper intelligent, like they could live among us and outsmart us so easily, because we're basically stupid we're dumb as fuck compared to them, so they could live among us without ever letting us
ants,
know.
in a way.
So what you're
Ants
saying?
don't notice that we're all these people
so
walking
these
around.
Sasquatches,
They may see 3 their life.
The reasons we don't see Sasquatches is because they're smarter than us and they live in caves, and like they're a subterranean species, and they just come out for walks and shit by rivers and whatnot.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. I don't know.
All the Bigfoot sightings have been, even like the main Bigfoot sighting of like 19 whatever.
There's literally been Bigfoot sightings or Sasquatch, Yeti, whatever you want to call them, abominable snowmen. They've been sighted all over the world. I mean,
if so many, you would think if like, okay, say like out of say there's only been 1,000 sightings, right? Out of all the 1,000 sightings, like there would have been somebody would have fucking clipped one of them, right? Something would, one of them would be dead somewhere. One of them like would have died in the open. What every single time one dies, they crawl back to the center of the earth where you can't find them. Like something would have been found. Like if they just wander through the woods.
Yeah.
But you say that.
Good point.
I mean, you say that, but let's be real. Like when you're out in the woods, how often do you find bones of like bears and shit like that? You don't.
Yeah, no.
You don't really find. I mean, predatory creatures.
Actually, I don't know how factual that is. Predatory creatures, no, because you see more
well,
like.
Well, they'd be in caves. You'd find bones of bears in caves because they crawl back home.
Well, you find like
die.
foxes and shit. Like if foxes die.
I'm just saying, how many wolf skeletons you seen or coyote skeletons have you seen?
Well, I don't see too many wolves around here. Coyote skeletons. I guess I'm just like not out in like the wilderness like that enough.
So I've seen them hit on the side of the road type of thing.
So what I'm saying is like when you're out in the woods and stuff, like you find some deer antlers in the ground or you find a deer body here or there, but you don't really find that many predatory creature skeletons. And I mean, I've been out in the woods a good bit of my life, so all I'm saying is like, I don't know, maybe something's eating them. You don't normally find that
Bigfoot's the one eating them.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying, man. That's some wild shit like that. I mean, I'm gonna be real. It's crazy.
Well, if you're gonna go that far, then I'll go ahead and say it. Maybe it's not Bigfoot. Maybe like people are turning into werewolves in the night, and those are the things.
Bro, skinwalkers.
See that shit? I don't know.
That Windusy, bro.
That shit's scary as fuck.
Dude, go out in the woods, go camping, fucking.
I've done it too many times, and I know it's just your mind playing with you because you're scared, and you hear something, and you hear some weird, and your fucking mind starts racing, your heart starts racing, and you're like, oh fuck.
Bro, I got a
It's the Wendigo, and it's really like a squirrel. Like,
yeah.
All I'm saying is our government has been hiding so much shit from us, and on top of the government,
that's probably what scared most humans, thinking of some other type of shit because they ain't telling the truth.
If I was out in the woods, dude, and I found a Bigfoot and like I killed that thing, I'm not gonna tell people. Like, let's be real, that's probably an endangered species. You'd probably go to prison for the rest of your life.
Think about it this way:
even if you were finding it and you were being the first person to be like, "I found this corpse" or "I shot this creature and this is what I have," people are all gonna say it's a lie. No matter what, the government's not gonna let that shit out.
No.
Well, no, they don't want to scare people, and like I'm required by law not to say who told me this, but like it's like the U.S. right? The U.S. has been so focused on counterterrorism since 9/11, right? We've been so focused on counterterrorism. Everybody else has been gearing up for global warfare. So 20 years goes by, and everybody else is nukes and. Everything is more advanced than ours. Like we're so fucking far behind. Like if they started launching shit at us, we can't take out a half of what they say that we can. But
I don't know about that.
You wouldn't not okay. But
there's nukes. We got
you
nukes.
No, we do. We have all that.
We got.
But they're 20 years behind everybody else's. Like our defense systems, 20 years behind everybody else's. They have rockets now that can reach all the way across the seas, hit us in the middle of the U.S. and
who do you think's making that shit though? Let's be real here. Like you're sitting here saying that our military isn't as advanced as everybody else's, but literally
I was in the motherfucker.
But what I'm telling you is like they don't have bombs that they could launch from like fucking Russia and hit us. That's why Russia doesn't shoot us.
Yeah, they do.
What do they got? What's it called?
Fucking counter. I looked it up, bro. No, hold on. Now you got me going. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Where's my phone at? Where's my phone?
Man can't even find his phone. He's telling us there's rockets going to get us.
No, okay, wait.
So I can understand nuclear.
Russia built.
Those go far.
So, like, perfect example with the whole Ukraine-Russian war. Everybody's not talking about it. But the whole reason Russia is attacking Ukraine is because Russia agreed to let Ukraine not be part of them as long as they didn't make weapons. Like, they weren't making nuclear bombs.
Newly tested long-range missile. That sounds
okay,
good.
And then also Russia made the largest nuclear bomb ever and literally burned up part of the ozone when they set it off, called the Tsar bomba.
The multi-warhead Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile.
Okay.
They could reach the middle of the fucking U.S. Boom! It reaches all the way across the seas now.
Okay.
But no, check it. They would never tell the public this because why would you? You come out on television tomorrow. Hey, we've been super geared up for counterterrorism for the past 20 years, and to be quite honest, everybody else is ahead of us. So if they launch shit at us, I mean, most of us are probably gonna die. Duck and cover.
Well, I mean,
everybody's gonna freak the fuck out, and you're not gonna have control of your population
well,
anymore.
and it's honest truth though. Even if we launched a nuke right now from any one of our boats that are floating around having a nuke on it, okay, we get to hit pretty much anywhere in the world. But like nobody wants to launch nukes at people.
That's
You
what's
don't
so
wanna
great.
destroy it.
That's what's so
Yeah,
great.
you
about
don't
our
want that
Navy.
to happen. But now with
No,
your,
you don't want that
with
to
your
happen,
missiles that
no.
you're talking about, though, you piss off somebody that's
Well,
fairly
those are
local.
nukes. What they
No?
got, that missile's nuclear, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. At the same point, that's also why Trump was setting
Well,
up
actually,
the whole space
no,
force.
no. But they don't. But see, they're small. It's not like you hit it and it wipes out all of the U.S. You would launch like a series of them. You would launch like 7 and hit like the major ports of the U.S.
If they've got
knock
that
those out.
opportunity, why don't they want to go ahead and make one that'll fucking blast?
Because
It's a game, bro.
the
It's like
blast
it's,
radius
it's,
for this
it's not
shit-
as simple as just like back and forth. It's like playing chess, bro. And it's like you're having to deal.
Okay, so let's be real. Russia launches a nuke towards us. It's in the air for 25 minutes. During the 25 minutes it's in the air, or the hour and 45 minutes it's in the air, we are launching everything we can back at them.
Oh yeah.
And then when we launch at Russia, then China launches at fucking
Everybody's tied
Taiwan.
in. World
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah, China's finally going to hit Taiwan. At that
Yeah,
point.
well, and that's what I'm saying is like they're literally just going to hit everything and anything they can.
Yeah.
So like all of that just seems kind of like it's not going to happen.
If there wasn't so many little deals here and there, you think like somebody wouldn't have already wiped our ass off the map. But we also like
I don't know. We're
support a
pretty
lot
big.
of places like
Yeah.
financially, you know.
Well, that's
So
why they're
it's
trying
like-
to get the dollar out of the main
Yeah.
currency of the world.
Yeah.
Wait till our government goes out and releases their cryptocurrency or electronic dollar with it. The only reason they want to do that whole electronic dollar shit that they're trying to pull up, is so that they could take it and every single dollar you make, everything you buy gets taxed. There is no loophole. There is no, oh, I did this for cash. This is the pillow money. It's all.
You can't. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, and that's a scary fucking thought.
You could. I mean,
Like everybody should pay their taxes, yes, and you should pay taxes on all the money you earn. But at the same point, like if you're only making $200, why should you give 30% of that to the government?
right.
Yeah.
And I feel like the government's overreach is ridiculous now. And I feel like a lot of it, like the
Well, they
whole,
don't give a damn.
well, the separation of church and state doesn't exist either. Because let's be real, like
Which
the whole,
it should.
well, the party lines that they vote on, let's be real. You got the Democrats who are like, you know what, screw it, we want to murder babies. Fuck, we want to murder you, use you as cattle.
Why is there
And
only two Democrat and Republican?
It shouldn't be though.
Well, here's the
like,
thing.
why don't? What does it take to make a new one out?
So no, everybody wants to do it,
Everything.
and when they say they want to do it, they all like, oh, we need more parties. No,
we have other parties. They
No.
just don't get the funding. They're not gonna win.
But the truth is, we don't need more parties. We need no parties.
yeah,
If there's no parties and there's no party lines to vote on, there's no bipartisan votes.
it's a good point. You
So-
just vote on the
Exactly.
person's
Well, and
ideals.
if you're there for the reason you're supposedly there, which is because you were elected by your state and by your people to go represent them in Congress, do you think the people from our state represent what we really want? No.
Yeah.
no.
Absolutely not. And do you think anybody else's states represent them? Fuck no.
It's all.
Let's be real. All
random.
these people in office right now are fucking golf buddies. Like their parents
Oh,
were
yeah,
golf buddies. They all went to
absolutely.
college together. Like somebody was saying earlier that going to college and the fraternities, you get to know people, and there's contacts for life. All these fuckers went to college together. They all probably were in the same fucking 5 sororities, and they've been running the country for fucking 100 plus
the
years.
fucking the old football coach of Auburn is part of like the
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
Some of these people are fucking wild. The governor of Florida, what was
oh yeah.
it? Whenever
he ran for president, didn't
no,
he?
whenever COVID came out, they had a press
Isn't he a governor?
conference.
yeah,
Rubio,
uh,
or he's somewhere up in Florida's
Yeah, no.
thing, and he also ran for
well,
president
yeah,
too.
the new governor over there, what's his name? DeSantis, DeSantis.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Rubio though. He,
Yeah, no, I don't even give a fuck about Rubio, but I'm saying DeSantis, that dude's over there running some shit. Like they just he put a thing in for if rather than putting teachers in schools, he gave ex-military veterans the option to
Yeah.
go teach in schools, to take up and become teachers, and then gave them 10 years to get their classes done. So then we could have tactical trained military personnel in schools to protect kids from shootings. I'm like, that's kind of cool. That's a
kinda
good
cool.
idea.
yeah.
Now, let's okay. I'm not saying like they have to pass some like mental evaluations.
Of course,
and stuff
I mean
like
they're
that
working with
to
children
make sure they're
and-
capable of doing
yeah.
it. But I feel like at that point you're going to end up with a lot more male teachers. And how is that going to turn out? For
No,
school?
I don't think that's true. When I was in the military, there was pretty
There was enough
even
females.
distribution. It's a pretty even distribution of male to female. Like
yeah, but
the ratio.
you were in what, the chair force?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same with that. Same thing with the Marines. I went to school with Marines. I went to school with Army. It's the even distribution, male, female, and
You think?
yeah. And I would feel like
I feel like at this point it would be
So,
too,
I
though.
don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like most women that-
95% of the military, well, let me rephrase that. The thing I saw said 95% of the military that actually sees combat is male.
Sees combat, yes, I would agree. But they actually in there that can be trained, I'm sure there's
Yeah.
enough women.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right. I don't
And
know.
I feel like more women that like got out of the military women would be more likely to take up the teaching job. And
Yeah,
do
especially with that
thing.
opportunity
I'll
that
be
they
honest
have.
with you,
Children.
like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind going to be a teacher, but like the pay sucks.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
okay, so now have you guys heard anything about the states that are like, okay, if you want to homeschool your kid, we'll give you the funding from the federal government that you were going to receive, or the school is going to receive for your child. So like Arizona brought it up, and I think it's $16,000 per student. So like me being a guy who has 4 kids, if I were to homeschool all 4 of my kids, I would get $16,000 per child
Per year that they're in school.
per year that they're in school. So that makes it so it's more affordable for families, for somebody to stay home and take their kids and teach their kids and go over the curriculum. So your kid
Is that a thing that's happening, or
yeah, there's multiple states that are talking about it now, and I feel like that's a great thing.
yeah?
Now, a lot of people are against it, and a lot of people are saying, oh, parents are going to take their kids out of school and not teach them and just get that money. But, I mean, the kids got to pass tests and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I feel like that would be wonderful, because now you're taking that whole...
As long as they're able to pass the test.
At the same point, I don't know. I feel like the world's going to end. You guys know me. I'm a doomsday prepper.
Oh yeah.
Like, I kid you not, dude. I bought more ammunition and silver in the past 5 months than most people will probably buy in their lifetime, just because...
Yeah.
I feel like shit's going sideways.
I mean, it's very well possible it could too.
I mean, it's just getting ugly. My thing is, like, I personally don't want to be part of society anymore.
Well, we've never, throughout history, like things go sideways like quick and fast, and things get like really shitty. Like you see it throughout history, and like for the time period that we've been alive, like nothing really too crazy has like popped off. Like,
Well, all I'm saying is,
but like we're on the verge of like something happening.
so hold on our planet, there's a large number of Christian people. In our country, there's a large number of Christian and Catholic people. Okay, one thing that you constantly hear about is like the mark of the devil.
yeah.
What is up with all these companies like Amazon? Okay, when you read about the Bible and stuff, and it tells you about this mark of the devil, it's either in your right hand or in your forehead. And all these companies keep trying to put a fucking chip in your hand. Like, that's literally like alienating half the population, and they're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go get some fucking chip or a barcode or anything fucking implanted.
Well, don't
in my
they
hand.
say like
Apparently
once
a
you get
Tesla
the mark
key
of the
could
beast,
be implanted in your hand too.
Yeah, huh?
isn't this after the
It's the beginning.
after he comes back though?
No, it's
isn't
the beginning of the end.
And they say you can't do anything without the mark of the beast. Like you basically have to get the mark of the beast to live. Like
Yeah,
to buy
buy
food, to do anything.
and they're talking about switching everything over to digital currency, and then Amazon's trying to get you to put a chip in your fucking
Well, I
hand.
mean, money was evil to start with. Like
Well,
without
yeah.
it even being crypto, like people could have said whenever money was invented, that was the end of everything. You know?
Yeah, but at the same point, okay.
Depends on how you
No,
look
no.
at it. It could be a new beginning
As
as
it
well.
goes right now, dude, I can literally go online and get 1 ounce silver coins that are worth denominations of money printed on the coin, and use those silver coins at anywhere I go. Nobody's gonna be like, no, I won't take that $17 worth of silver. Nobody's gonna stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, even if I had to take that and go and trade it for cash that day and then go buy what I needed, I could still do it. So I mean, you still have that option. But once you do away with the actual physical currency of anything, now how do you do that?
So how does that work?
What do you mean?
Once we 10 years down the road where we've converted, everything's digital.
They're talking the
What-
end of this year.
What the thing
In March,
that
they signed it in that we're going to start
Yeah.
a digital currency, and they're trying to implement it by the end of this year, early next
but
year.
the thing that I read, which is probably outdated information because I read this probably 5 months ago, but
Yeah.
it was like a 10-year plan to like phase it out.
I mean, they also said 10-year plans on go buy your fucking electric cars because, like, California's not going to allow
Yeah.
you to have gas. And then they're making it so people can't charge their electric car because our power grid can't supply the power to people with electric cars.
I want to talk about that too. Like, so we're moving to electric cars and everything, and like the conversation we had earlier today, where it's not
sustainable.
It's not sustainable because we're still having to strip mine for fucking lithium.
Yeah.
And it's a couple years down the line, we're going to have to move on to something else. So why not just look for that something else now?
No, if you go and look around where they have the Tesla plants that they're manufacturing the batteries and look at the dead zones for 20 miles around where they're digging for lithium, nothing's alive.
Yeah.
Where they're making the batteries in the plants, there's nothing alive because this shit's toxic for the environment, but they don't care because of the money.
Right.
And let's be real, until people have, all right, let's be real. So everybody's like, okay, yeah, no, we have the EPA, which protects people, and OSHA makes sure people aren't dumping horrible shit in our water. And like, we're not even the biggest like polluters in the world. Like, everybody thinks Americans are the huge polluters in the world, but like South America, China,
everybody contributes their share.
No.
But China, I feel like China would contribute the most.
Well, not only China, but I mean like any of these like second and third world countries that are dumping massive amounts of waste into their water. India, perfect example. The Ganges is the largest river in India, and they've poisoned it with their leather industry. Yeah. That half of it, the water's unbreathable, and they've gotten rid of most of their natural fish species, and they had to import tilapia that could survive in shit water. So, I mean, that's on its own just horrible, and there's nobody stopping these people. They just keep doing it. Their government said they can't do it, so they're going to stop, and they're going to start doing it better. Like, where's the world protection? But here in the United States, like our oil refineries and shit, the OSHA's like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, we'll be out there in 3 months to come check things, fix your shit. Rather than finding these multi-billion
they give them a big heads up.
Yeah,
blah, blah.
Why not find them? Find them the fucking money and use the money to fix the environment. Why are we not doing things to better our environment? And it's just gonna keep going downhill. Why do you think like Russia?
It sounds like such a great thing too, like the electric cars, like they're pushing it. Oh, take out all the emissions, blah blah blah, and people don't know that they're just trading like one evil for like a lesser evil, but it's just not sustainable.
Well, and like that, okay.
Imagine that thing running into a river. How much pollution is that from a lithium battery if it runs into a lake?
So if they were to crash their car with their lithium batteries and the car were to, let's just say, rip in half, and
I think it runs off like 16 batteries.
Well, yeah,
or some
if the
shit.
batteries were to crack, then they would explode, because lithium in water has a violent, extremely explosive, flammable reaction.
Well, I mean, when you say that happens, yes, they explode, but like
no. Like what I'm saying is, if you take lithium and drop it in water, it explodes and catches on fire. Just lithium.
Okay, so there would be no residue left from that to kill fish or anything in a pollution stance.
It'd probably kill some shit.
You can't like synthesize lithium?
I don't know if they can. That I personally don't know, but if they could, I don't think they'd be spending the money to strip mine.
Good point.
I mean, let's be real. Unless their whole goal is to just turn our planet to shit. What about fucking Pakistan flooding?
It's all going to shit.
What about that?
What about the what is that main river that's drying up?
The Tigris or the Euphrates?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, so you're now seeing everybody posting about how it's drying up. This has been going on for like 50 years.
Well, I mean, look at
They're saying it won't actually.
We've changed the whole like climate of the rainforest, and we've like destroyed almost the whole ecosystem, like everything. And like you can go see it, you can go look at it, like it's there. And if you look at like the Antarctic, like during the summers, you don't have any ice caps, and like what like lives on those ice caps and shit, bro.
That's not true.
Look it up.
No, you could look it up, and in the summertime, ice melts. The ice caps on Antarctica on the land are not what they're talking about. There is literally glaciers
in the water,
that are in the wild. Like when I say glaciers, I'm talking like 100, 200, 500 mile stretches of nothing but ice that are still there. Yes, they melt, but like. I was always told that if they could explain anything they want with something, then it's probably not real. And climate change is one of those things. You literally look it up right now, and you could Google climate change, and it comes up with 250 different things it's supposedly doing, and all of them are the opposite from each other. Like, oh, there's not enough ice in Antarctica. Oh, no, there's too much ice in Antarctica. They're both caused by climate change. I feel like our Earth goes on cycles. And like, perfect example, they're saying this is an extremely hot summer. This is off the records. It's broken records worldwide. But at the same point, they're already saying the storms for this winter are going to be twice as bad as what we're used to. So like where we live at, it normally doesn't get below, 30 degrees. It'll probably get down to 10 degrees this year here. Well, we might even see snow here. And that's because the planet's changing. The climate is changing on a real level, but not
why
by
is
like
it
the melting. It's a cycle. We go through it. Let's be real.
We're not contributing to this.
No, I feel like we're contributing to it in a minuscule amount.
Very slight way.
I don't feel like we're contributing, like we're changing the entire environment.
No, because it hadn't been frozen that much to cause the glaciers and shit anyway in the beginning. All that dry sand, it had to have went through that change to cause that in the beginning. Now it's changing back. Some other shit's changing.
Well, like that, the desert now having water in it. Now let's be
real.
that
shit used to be dry.
It's been dry for 200-300 years. 400
and now
years
it's getting wet. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
now
get what
they're
you're
gonna
saying.
have water
it's
there.
Changing.
And let's be real. Where else do you have massive amounts of sand? Bottom of the ocean. So maybe water's just shifting from where it's at, or underground water sources are moving. Like you're saying, the Tigris, Euphrates rivers drying up. Maybe the water that's been pumping up into that for all these years got shifted by an earthquake underground, and now rather than coming out this channel, it's coming out this channel. We don't know because...
Or it has been there before, and now something's changed in the actual beyond what we're looking at in space.
That I don't know. And sometimes I feel it feels so hard to argue on things, like, because I know what I know because of, like, certain articles that I've read. But then at the same time, like, how do I know what articles are credible, and how does this person... It's I don't know. It all gets kind of
in your head,
confusing these days.
How long have we been keeping track of the weather?
A while.
As long as we've
what I'm saying is worldwide.
Been a species, right?
No, never. You're crazy. You're trying to tell me that like back when humans were clicking fucking rocks together trying to make fires and living in fucking loincloths and shit, people were like, the weather in Canada today is this.
No, but I mean like, oh, big black cloud, rain time.
Yeah, go to bed.
Yeah, well,
go to the shelter.
We keep track of the weather and
what do you mean keep track?
In our environment where we're at. Worldwide, 275 years.
You mean like write down it rained this day?
Yeah.
Write down it rained this day.
No, write down
Keep track like that?
No, write down like, okay, here in this state, that we've had this much rainfall every single year for the past 50 years or 100 years.
Oh, probably
where we live at right now.
The
beach that we live on right now, we're right down the road. There literally has not been people living in this area longer than 100 years. So how do we know what the weather was like here 200 years ago? And the people who were living here were Native Americans, and they didn't keep track of that. So worldwide.
All right. So if you go back and
let's just say
there's a bunch of fossils that's been dug up, right?
Yeah, fossils. Fuck that. What I'm saying is 300 years maximum that we have knowledge about the weather. Okay, 200 years we have decent knowledge. 100 years of accurate. 50 years of scientific fact knowledge. This is how the weather is.
There's been fossils that's been dug up, and then there's been air pockets trapped inside of these fossils. Now, if you extract the air,
you're talking about like the amber that they found, that the air was pocketed in the actual sap from the tree, and they like pulled it out and found out that there was like during the dinosaurs age there was 25% oxygen in the environment, and now there's only 20% or 22%.
Correct.
Yeah. I read the same things. And once again, they also went on to say that we actually had a double atmosphere back then. And by having that double atmosphere with the extra 4% oxygen that we don't have now, that your injuries would heal faster and you probably live longer. So people were living, let's be real. If you go to the Bible,
people were living like 600 years.
6,000 years ago, they were telling you that, people could live to be 120 to 140 years old.
Well, I remember a woman being in the Bible that was like 600. No, there was like a woman in the Bible that was like 600 years old. Well, because I remember me telling my grandma, that's bullshit.
Adam and Eve, they literally had extended life for them alone.
But was it magical? Was it put upon them?
Well, they lived like 1,000+ years. It all depends on where you look at it. Some people, I kid you not, dude. Everybody has their own theory on religion. There's a dude out there preaching on TikTok, believe it or not, who's going that all Christianity is after Ragnarok Norse mythology. That essentially what he's saying is Lucifer is literally Loki, and everybody else, Balder, one of the gods who got killed, was actually the reincarnation, who's Jesus Christ now. And they're saying that the apple was actually the tree that they used in Norse mythology that gave all the gods their extended life. So when Adam and Eve ate from that apple, it also transferred to their children, so their kids and stuff like that could live 200, 300, 400 years. They were living, 1,200 years. So by eating the apple from the forbidden fruit. So, I mean, it all could be boiled down and come together at some point if you believe that way. But what I personally believe is that, yes, they could say 4,000 years ago or 8,000 years ago, you could live this long. Today, that's not so much. And let's be real, it's the poisons they're feeding you. You probably...
And the poison that they're pumping into the atmosphere that's gotten rid of all the oxygen.
Well, the oxygen can be produced by trees. I mean, let's be real.
That we're cutting down and not replanting at a fast enough rate.
Well, no. Okay, so certain trees produce oxygen, certain ones don't. Certain trees absorb oxygen and use it. So, I mean, planting the right ones. But let's be real. If anybody went to third grade, photosynthesis that produces oxygen on our planet, I think it's 70% of it comes from the ocean. So
which we're killing and polluting and overfishing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to say we're overfishing, but I feel like
we are overfishing.
If we got rid of commercial fishing, okay.
We're trying to see people are still like whaling. Whaling, that's one thing, but there's like illegal fishing and stuff in China, and people still go out and fish. And there's I just watched a whole ocean documentary, my guy.
If you want to go fishing and you take your personal boat out and you have 4 people on your boat, you can catch two red snapper per person on the boat, but for every trip you make.
Right.
Okay. They have commercial fishing boats out there that are catching red snapper and redfish by the metric tons. And when I say tons, like they're allowed to catch 45,000 tons a day.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I can only catch 2 fish from a whole fucking family?
That's what I'm saying. It's not right. It's not necessarily like in all these situations. It's not necessarily the average person that's like fucking shit up. Sure, like the average person doesn't recycle. Yeah, that kind of sucks and it's not the best. But it's not. They're not the problem. It's the major corporations that are overfishing the sea and pumping all this shit into the fucking atmosphere, like the big factories and things like that. Like, sure, us as like the common man could do a lot of things to help, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, not us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I get it. My thing is, where do you start? How do you fix it?
That's the thing, and like
because posing a problem without posing a solution,
you really have to. I feel like you really just have to get everybody on board. Like, and if everybody was on board, like
let
with
the government burn our money and turn it to cryptocurrency, and everybody just stop spending it and go back to bartering, horse trading.
Yep, go catch
fish. The minute companies can't make money and people are self-sufficient, the world will change for the better.
Well, people don't realize, like, people are like, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, or I wish I had, like, this type of house. And it's like, well, you could really go out there and you could, if you knew everything necessary, like, you could go build your own house, cut down a tree, do all that, fucking, like clear some land for yourself, teach yourself how to hunt. You could be fully self-sufficient.
But you can't do that anymore because the government wants their tax money, and if you're not paying your taxes, you lose everything.
It's fucking crazy that if you by choice, like you could do all that, but the government's limiting you. You can't even just go and live for yourself anymore without any.
It's illegal to collect rainwater in most states.
That's why.
Can't take sand from the beach
because
that makes sense.
Well,
that makes sense.
No, they don't want you being self-sufficient, because if you're out there being self-sufficient, not needing anything from society, you're not paying fucking taxes.
Well,
it's the same reason the feminist movement took off. They want more tax money. Now, why are they going to cryptocurrency? Because it's more convenient than carrying around a wad of cash? No, so
it's
they
more
can
convenient
tax you on every dollar
to control the fucking masses, man.
Exactly. But anywho, I feel like we should wrap this one up for today.
Y'all educate yourselves. Y'all fucking overthrow the man.